Welcome back to the Parker's Podcast. I'm Rose and this is Francel Parker, and I want to give a shout out to the Lab Podcast Studio with Christian Young.
What's up, everybody?
So last week, I know we were talking about some odd and end things, and last night I was thinking, what are we going to talk about tomorrow for our podcast? And something came up. We were talking, Le'Veon brought a person over to the house this weekend.
Oh,
and so we were...
A person? You can't say a person. It's like he brought a girl to the house for us to meet, and that was just such a interesting experience, to say the least.
She's the first actual girlfriend, and so we had to do the parental interview.
Oh yeah, what's your intentions with my son type scenario, and
give her the shakedown.
What's your mom like? What's your dad like? What's the genetics like in your family? Are y'all, because we're thoroughbreds. We don't want any, abnormalities popping up in the gene pool. It's like
make sure that everybody meshes well and creates good stock babies, right?
Right, exactly. Because one of these kids got to go to the league somewhere at some point. Shoot.
Well, anyways, we're not going to go down that road quite yet because we want to make sure, if she's going to stick around or, how that whole situation will play out.
Yeah, because if we start razzing her too much on the podcast, she gone.
Probably so. We did scare her a little bit. They tried to cancel on us like 30 minutes prior, and I told them both. I know they could hear me in the car, but we have this saying in our house, you're only as good as your word.
Facts.
And so I told Le'Veon, I said, you can't cancel because you're a man of your word, and I'm assuming that you would not even think about dating a person who's not a woman of their word. And I said, so you guys made a commitment. We've already prepared the meal. The food is actually almost done. I will see you in 30 minutes.
Yeah, because I'm like, if you have any shot at standing a chance in this family, you better show up. Like, if you don't show up, it's a wrap.
Well, I even told Le'Veon, I said, because she, I guess, said that she was scared to come over. And I said, listen, I wouldn't be afraid to come over. I would be afraid now that you've said you're going to come over and then not to show up.
Right. That's almost like a job interview. Like, how you call, no show for your interview and then think you got a shot at getting the job. It's like...
True. Well, anyways, so after dinner, because we are foodies, we always, we explore different food options.
Oh, side note, just know that I am a phenomenal home chef. Like, I throw down in the kitchen. You can endorse that. You can endorse that. You wanted to endorse that.
Yeah, you cook.
Oh, well, here you go, downplaying it. That's what you do. You downplay it.
Everybody that knows us knows that we like to cook.
Yes.
So everybody knows.
But there are people who don't know us that are watching this.
Okay, well, true. Well, we love to cook. We love to host people.
Right.
And we also love to go and explore, like hole-in-the-wall restaurants and mom and pop shops and stuff like that.
Or fine dining.
Mm-hmm. But we want specific because there's a particular restaurant in town that everyone rants and raves about, and we're just like, ugh. I don't want to name names.
What's the type of food? Because
it's steakhouse.
Oh. Yeah, they love that steakhouse, and I'm just like, man.
Yeah, you guys got to get out of Port Charlotte.
For real.
But anyways.
I will shout out my favorite restaurant.
Embers.
Well, I guess it's Ember, but Chris owns that down in Fort Myers, man. Any chance I get, if it's your birthday, if it's Jesus' birthday, if it's anybody's birthday, I'm down to go to Embers. It don't even got to be a birthday. If it's President's Day, if it's Postal Worker Appreciation Day, I'm trying to go to Embers. Like,
well, we've told people that's what we work for.
Yeah.
Just to be able to go there to eat.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, there is really not.
We have not found a place. We have not found a single.
Even when
restaurant.
we went to Vegas, the quality of what Chris does in Fort Myers is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. And we tried. So we get the Japanese A5 Wagyu steak there, and We tried to get it out in Vegas. We've tried a place in Sarasota. We've tried
A place in Tampa.
Yeah, we just cannot. The quality is just not the same.
And that's one thing that trips me out. Chris goes to like a lot of these farms and talks to the farmers and looks at the animal while they're alive and grades the quality of the meat himself. And when you have a person that is that meticulous in regards to the product that they offer, you can't help but have an awesome product.
And it's not even just that, but the experience, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
If you're in our age range, which is not 40 yet, and we are in our mid to upper 30s right now. But if you're in our age range, the atmosphere is really catered around us, really.
Early 90s R&B, a little bit of 2000s R&B, but mostly R&B. Laid back environment, very nice, classy. But man, the food is awesome though. I can't get over it. And Chris is an awesome dude. Him and his dad own it and run it. Great people. Just great people.
Just make sure you get a reservation.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have to sit in that line. But anyways, so that was my thought last night. I was like, you know what? Food is a really good topic because when me and you got married.
Oh, dude, the cultural differences just from food.
And I didn't even know. Some of the things I didn't even know. Like
this is the funniest thing that I've ever heard you say. Like, my parents were frying chicken at home. She was like,
well, it was the first meal.
I didn't know that you could fry chicken at home. And I'm like, well, where else do you fry chicken? I thought you could only get it from a restaurant. And my whole family just looked her dead in the face and just busted out laughing.
I just didn't know. You know, our growing up in our house, we were kind of sheltered. And we ate out, but not like, well, we were a big family. You know, we had 5 kids in the house, my mom and dad, so there were 7 of us. So it wasn't like we were going out to eat all the time. My dad had a modest income.
Modest income? You keep saying that.
You know.
Okay, so in the comments, I need someone to write in the comments, can you be poor and own horses? Like, that's the part that I don't understand. She says, we grew up so poor. And I'm like, yeah, your poor is totally different than my poor when we was eating Wish sandwiches. You know, for those of you who don't know what Wish sandwiches are, it's like you wish you had some meat between 2 pieces of bread. You know,
I mean, you had Miracle Whip.
Okay, we had Miracle Whip sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? But you had horses. You grew up literally riding horses. And I'm like, yeah, you weren't poor. Your dad just put money in different areas.
He did, but food was not one of them.
But you were riding horses. Not a horse either. It's not like you had a pony and it was a family pony. No, how many horses did you guys have?
We had 6.
6 horses. So he, on his income alone, 7 people he supported and 6 horses. And you were poor?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you got to remember the vehicles that we had.
What does that matter? You had horses. Like you, but
we were not riding around on horses.
One
going to
horse
school on
is
horses.
the cost of a vehicle. You could buy a car for one of your horses.
Well, there were 2 of them that probably were more than a car would have been, but
yes, the quality of food that you grew up eating
was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, we ate if it was something that we could make with hamburger, that's what we had. And now I hate pasta. Well, not all pasta. I just like spaghetti and meatballs. I don't want that. I do not want Hamburger Helper, which for some reason my youngest son, Seth, he loves Hamburger Helper and always wants it. So I'll buy it for him on nights that we're not home so he can have it for himself.
But I like Hamburger Helper. It's nostalgia. I mean, that's what I grew up on.
I don't care. I just do not want it.
Because we were actually poor, so we had Hamburger Helper.
You were not actually poor.
Really?
You guys had a two income family.
Uh-huh. And we couldn't afford no horses. We couldn't even afford name brand shoes. I didn't have Nikes until I was in high school. But you had horses. Like, you can't say what you didn't have because it's negated by the fact that you had horses.
Remember, horses could have been bought with taxes.
So do you know what was paid with our taxes? The mortgage, insurance.
I wouldn't know. My parents kept me out of that loop, so I just didn't know. I know what my dad made now that he's passed. I knew what he made an hour back then. So
Phenomenal money.
Yes, and that time he was making good money.
So how did
but
you meet up?
I don't know. We lived a very poor lifestyle. We did. We had hand-me-down clothes. We never bought new clothes ever. I think the first time my dad actually bought me brand new clothing outfits, like total outfits, was when I was pregnant with Le'Veon. My only pair of tennis shoes I ever got that was name brand was 9th grade in high school. That was my only time.
Speaking of horses, though, this is a funny story. When you were pregnant with Le'Veon, we were walking skip up from the back stables at Larry's, and
It was the one across the street.
Across the street, yeah. And all of a sudden, that horse.
Well, you got to give some context.
Go ahead, give context.
So I did grow up riding horses, and I was very good at riding horses. I showed horses. I could ride English and Western, but
that just speaks money.
You're right. I see how that sounds, but I swear we lived very poor. We had a great childhood, but
I'm sure you did.
We lived poor. Anyways, so when we went and got the horse out of the pasture, my dad had just a shank on the horse, which is, for people that don't ride horses or have horses, it's like a long dog leash almost. And at the beginning part, there's probably like an 18-inch section it's just a chain. And so what we would do is run the chain through the halter of the horse and clip it to one side. So you would hold it on the other side. And if the horse did anything, you could, slightly tug on it and it would pinch his nose a little. And that's how you maintain control of the horse. Not all of them needed it. Skip was a little boisterous.
Spicy.
Yes. So he needed it. Anyways, when we picked him up, he was I rode him bareback. I didn't even have the shank. My dad did. And so I'm just, 9 months pregnant with Le'Veon. I mean, like way pregnant with Le'Veon. And I'm just holding on to a little tuft of hair at the end of his mane. And so we're coming across the street and...
No, we were still coming through the pasture.
Well, wherever. And a horsefly or a deer fly got the horse on its butt. That's the only thing we can think of.
Yeah.
Because the horse has never acted like this before. But in a moment's notice, it just started rearing up and bucking. And I mean, I'm holding on to a little tough horse.
Now, I didn't grow up with horses. And I didn't know horses could stand straight up and down on their hind legs and then jump off the ground. But this horse legit did this while she was on the horse. And all I remember is like, oh, shoot. And I'm running around like this.
You and my dad are on each side of the horse, like ready to catch me.
Yeah, if she falls off.
And I'm holding on that little tuft of the horse. And I think it was left-handed too. And I'm like, woohoo, just going to town. I thought it was the best thing ever. Man. So when the horse calms down, I'm like excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was the best thing ever.
We got you off that horse. And man, your dad kicked that horse in the stomach so hard that I felt it. I felt the reverberation.
You could hear it. Doom.
Doom. And then all of a sudden you hear, and you see that tear came right down that horse's face. And I'm like, you a bad dude if you kick a horse and make it cry like that. It wasn't the horse's fault. And you know what he said? That
was a reaction, though. I don't think he meant to do that.
He said, I don't care if it's the horse's fault or not. My daughter is on there, so he better have acted right. And he didn't. And I'm like, shoot. Man, like, all right.
Well, like I said, we thought it had to have been a horsefly or deer fly that bit him or something, because he had never acted up like that.
Yeah.
And but that was
crazy.
That was definitely fun.
But once again, another reason why Le'Veon is as extreme as he is.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Roller coasters and then
9 months
rodeo.
Pregnant in a rodeo.
Yeah, rodeo riding. But yeah, so that was fun. But
what was funny is like even in that same time period, I think I was living with you. We were living with your parents at that time.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, not that. No.
Yes. Actually, yes, because that's when we were living in the basement and I used to have palmers and I used to rub your belly from all the stretch marks because of how big you were.
I don't think we were living there.
Yeah, I promise. I know we were. Because that's how I found out about the homemade hamburger helper that you guys used to eat.
Oh, my God. Yes. Yes, like I said, if it was something that could be made with ground beef.
Literally every meal.
My mom would slice up potatoes, put a little salt and pepper on it, and deep fry it with the hamburger. Oh, my gosh. Like,
I don't know if she actually used salt.
I don't know, everything that we ever had was terrible.
And everything was hamburger.
Yeah, or a random pork roast here and there. That was, which we actually talked about the other night too. You made that pork loin and cooked it a little too long, and I was like, man, this is dry. And I was like, but you know what? This is nothing compared to what I grew up on.
Yeah, legit.
Because I don't know if you guys have ever had a piece of pork that has been so dry that when you put it in your mouth, it kind of like puffs, like turns to dust in your mouth. That's bad. That's dry. But
I think why did I overcook that? I had put it on.
It was Friday night. We were at the office working, doing the build out.
Yeah, we're building an additional office inside of our warehouse, and we just stayed too long. Mm-hmm. That's all that was. And I mean, it had a great flavor, but man, it was just a little overcooked for my liking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, no drugs, no alcohol, but food is our thing, man. We get down.
Oh yeah.
Like anytime we're in a new city. Oh man, speaking of that, man, we were coaching football and the boys were playing, and we went to regionals up in Sanford.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I can't help it. Like they say camels find water in the desert. I find like amazing food in any city I go to.
Yeah, we're standing in that long line waiting for check-in.
Hours. What was it, like 6 hours?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And you just have to stand there. You just have to wait because it was
at a moment's notice.
Was it regionals?
Yeah, it was regionals.
Well, so we had probably 100 teams there or something checking in.
Yeah.
It was a lot of teams, and the whole team has to check in, and you have to just stay there.
And before I started disciplining myself with prayer and fasting, I used to get hangry all the time. And in this scenario,
and everybody knew you by that.
Oh man, everybody knew that. Like, oh shoot, he's ticked off, he's hungry. Somebody get that. Like when they came out with those Snickers commercials, like it was about me. Mm-hmm. Like, so I'm standing in this line and I'm like, yo, we need to leave now, or I'm gonna bite a child.
Yeah, and the other parents knew you enough, so they're like, okay, well, we'll stay here with the boys, and you guys go find some food. Man,
I took off, and immediately food near me, and it said, Chick-fil-A, Burger King, and I'm like, I don't want any of that.
Yeah, we never want that kind of stuff.
And then it says Angel Soul Food, and I'm like, well, let's go check this place out. And what's funny is prior to going there, we were traveling and we were in Georgia. And this barbecue place had like 5-star reviews, and we go in this restaurant.
Now we've already identified that we know that there's a cultural difference.
Cultural differences are real. They're not racist. They're just legit cultural differences.
Yes, my type of people, I guess you could say.
Whoa. What do you mean your type of people? Now you're going racist. Okay. So if you say my culture,
the people from Caucasus.
Yo, like don't even go down that road.
No, I know. I'm lying. I know that there's no real place like that.
There is. They're actually Asian people though. They're not white people.
Anyways,
like I asked this one guy, where are white people from? He said heaven. And I'm like, bro, really? So I'm like,
well, that would be a racist thing. I'm saying that like I knew that I grew up in a very bland food household,
flavorless and juiceless society.
Yes. So I never ate for pleasure. I only ate because I had to.
For sustenance.
Yes, I had to. Might have been why I was so skinny at the time.
Facts.
But
so we were in Georgia, and we pull into this barbecue spot, 5-star reviews, and we got out the car. I'm like, oh my gosh, this smells
and it smelled so
amazing.
Good. Yes.
Man, we went in there, and I'm sorry if you find this as a derogatory term, but it is a phrase that was coined by other people in this state of Florida. They call them Q-tips, which are like generally people who are little old ladies who have like the white afro that you see just sticking up.
Or older men.
Or yes. And literally all we see are Q-tips in the restaurant. I'm like, that's weird. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're not going to let that deter us.
No, because it smelled so delicious.
It smelled amazing. So I ordered a rack of ribs.
We literally ordered a little bit of everything because we figured we could just try everything if we all ordered something different.
And it was like $190-something worth of food that we ordered.
The food was so bad.
Like we left it on the table.
Yes, we left it on the table. We did not even pack it to go.
And walk. Like I was so frustrated that the food tasted so bad.
I think we left and went to like McDonald's or something.
Legit.
It was so bad.
I was like, yo, I'm going to pay you $200 just so I can get up and walk away now because this is horrific. But anyway, so that was like our previous experience. So when Angel comes, we have this like protocol in place. where she keeps the car running. I poke my head in to get a gauge of the clientele that's inside of the establishment.
Well, what happened was when we pulled up there, remember we saw a couple
We
of
seen two
the Q-tips
walk in, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Let me just go look. And I walked inside of there.
No, you looked inside of there.
I looked inside, and I'm
he turned around and gave me this look, and he's
Oh.
like, oh no, he's like, park the car, the car.
Yeah, this is it. And man, we went in there, and they serve it cafeteria style, and it's like, let me think. Back then, it was like
It's two entrees,
3 meats and 2 sides for $13.99.
Oh yeah,
and
something like that.
When I say 3 meats, it's like you could get smothered pork chops, fried chicken, brisket, ribs, chitlins. They had pig meatloaf, curry turkey.
They had, it was crazy how much stuff they had there.
So my first reaction is like, oh shoot. Well, all right. I grew up eating chitlins, or some of you know them as chitterlings, but so I had to try it because it's like, if this is a legit soul food place, these are going to be clean, they're going to be tender, and they're going to be delicious. And man, I got a container of those. I got the macaroni and cheese. I got the sweet potatoes, and I got ribs, and I got the curry turkey, and I had all this in this plate. And man, we went back.
Well, you got to remember.
Oh yeah.
The cake.
Well, that wasn't that day. That's when we.
Oh, no, you're right. We package all this food.
We went back to regionals.
We take it back to the regionals, and when we pull up, we hadn't even really tasted the food yet.
The grin on my face, like when I got there, people were like, "What'd you find?" And
we
I was like,
literally pulled the fold-up lawn chairs out of the back of the car. We were driving the Suburban at the time. Pulled them out of the back of the car, and we literally set up shop right behind the truck. And it was like a feast. Like, we had so much food.
Yeah.
We should have had fold-up tables with us. It was so bad. And so we had actually talked to them. The food was so good. We went back that night and ate again. And we asked them, like, listen, we have
4 teams with us, 4 football teams.
Yeah,
4 age
and
groups,
so we were
say.
serving. He was a coach. I was on the board. So we were like, listen, we can bring our football teams back, but the restaurant was awfully small. And so we said,
we're like, can you accommodate us?
Can you accommodate us?
And they were like,
so,
yes.
Yep. So they shut down and basically made it to where only us could come back.
And man, I'm telling you what.
I couldn't believe how fast they got all the food out.
All the food out. They supplied us with drinks, everything. And there was not enough seats. So like when the kids were done eating, they rotated them in, had a spot for them to sit outside. And it was flawless, flawless. And everybody was like so happy with the food. The next night, they wanted to go to Applebee's. We go to Applebee's. Everybody sits down at the same time. Nobody gets served food. Yep. And it took 4 hours for them just to get our orders to the point to where we're like, yo, we had to leave.
It was so bad. But so we ended up going back. I think we ate during that weekend trip. I think we ate there 4 or 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
And not a single time was I ever disappointed.
Well, we also found out that on Sundays they give you free cake.
Free cake. And I'm talking, everything is made from scratch. And I'm telling you, like when I say from scratch, like second night we went.
Yeah, when we came back.
Like the owner's mom is sitting in the back. And I mean literally with a giant mixing bowl
in her arm like this, and she is going to town, like hand
whisking mashed potatoes.
It was so good. It was so good. I tried to get you to go. I wanted to go there this past Sunday.
Yeah, but I don't like going on a Sunday because it presses them because of when they close.
Yeah. So
anytime, hey, look, check this out. If y'all want to try this place, message us in the comments, and like we'll just have to schedule a trip with our viewers that want to go up there, and we'll just take a ride. It's
so
worth
good.
it.
It is. It's about 3 hours away though, so it's a day trip.
It's all the way in Sanford.
Called Angel Soul Food.
Oh my god!
But anyways, so
listen, if anybody is watching from that area and you've never been to Angels, go to Angels, support them, because man, I'm telling you what, if you don't know who you are outside of Jesus, find Jesus first. And after you find Jesus, find Angel Soul Food, because it's like it reconnects your soul with love and all of the good things in life. And I told Rose one day, like, man, we just need to go so I can get a soul reset. I mean, I love Jesus and everything, but it was just something about eating that food, and you could taste the love, feel the love, and the people are just absolutely amazing there.
Well, unfortunately, we're running out of time.
Dang.
But
And all we got to do is talk about angels?
and a pinch about embers.
Yeah. Dang.
That's okay. There's always next time. But we can go on forever with food because we found a ton of places. I mean, we love to eat out. I mean, that's...
Yeah, we found places in Tampa, Shoot, my buddy Isaac in Sarasota Wine Bar, or not Wine Bar, Baker and Wife.
Mm-hmm.
Baker and Wife's restaurant up on Siesta Drive. I mean, his menu changes week to week.
Mm-hmm.
And that dude, he's just an awesome person. Him and his wife, Ia, amazing.
And Finn's in Venice.
Finn's in Venice is never disappointed. Shoot.
It's just a lot, so
many places.
But that's for next time.
Even the tequilas. Name one tequila that we went to that wasn't good.
So you shouldn't say it like that.
Well, blue tequila, pink tequila, azul tequila, lime tequila.
Which is all Mexican food.
It's all Mexican food. But, I mean, I'm telling you what. You go to one, the quality is good there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, food is a big deal. And anytime you eat food and it puts a smile on your face, you know you're in the right spot.
Well, look at how much we lit up just during this podcast, just over food.
Rose is like, fix your shirt, your boobies are showing. I'm like, gosh dang, I don't care, whatever. And I'm trying to be good with my buddy Will on this carnivore diet, but it's so hard because, you know, food is my thing, man. Mm-hmm. And I try. Well, I sound like Akon. Man, I try so hard, but these donuts keep calling me.
I don't understand. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
well,
man.
Anyways,
the first time I did carnival, the first 48 hours, literally, I heard the waffles in the freezer. Hey, man, what you doing? And I'm like, yo, shh, I'm trying to be good. We miss you. And I'm like, I miss you too, waffles, but y'all got to stay in the freezer. Like, no, you'll come back. And I'm like, nope, I'm doing carnivore. In the first 3 weeks, I was strong.
Why is it that when you're doing the carnivore, you now have a deeper voice? Is it more manly to be on the carnivore diet?
I don't know, man.
More feminine to eat waffles?
No, no. It's just how it sounds in my head. That's all. And then waffles. The waffles were like, yo, bro, you got to come hang out with us. I'm like, yo, I miss you too, waffles, but I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to lose this weight. And they're like, yo, it's okay. It's okay. You know, you got your wife already. Who are you trying to impress? And I'm trying to impress myself.
And then you ate the waffles.
No, I did not eat the waffles.
Not that day.
Not that day. not that day.
You talked yourself out of it that day.
I went 3 weeks strong on carnivore consistently, and then like life problems happened, and I was like, I need a cheat day, and then I killed them waffles that Sunday. So it was
it turned into a cheat week, and now we're at like 2 weeks.
Oh, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know how long it's been. I don't know. I try to stay consistent, but Sundays are always my cheat day.
Yeah.
It was bad that I even made like some carnivore bread, which in a pinch is good, but man, it's funky.
Yeah, because it's really just eggs.
It's just eggs.
Well, anyways, that is all for next time.
For this time, and we'll see you next time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm saying any more additional restaurants, all that kind of stuff is for next time.
Yeah. Well, this has been the Parker's Podcast. Check you guys out next week.